We doing a triple threat today with the WTF neoliberal, and it's all about the Omnibus bill. Over 4,000 pages, as I mentioned earlier. A whole bunch of stuff is not getting done for the regular, everyday people of this country. The 11th hour, once again, Congress waits until all types of backs are against the wall in terms of preventing a government shutdown. They do this on a regular basis, and I declare to you that if this was any other position, any other arena, as employees, as workers, we would not be able to get away with always waiting until the 11th hour. Would not, but only in Congress. It's dysfunctional as hell. So let's put up this headline: Congress still protecting dark money. This is where we're gonna start off with this omnibus bill. Congress still protecting dark money donors. A series of measures in Congress's annual omnibus bill, spending bill, show that Democrats have given up their fight to end dark money era. And this is coming from Andrew. Andrew, thank you over there at the lever. As part of its year in omnibus spending, Congress will once again help dark money donors hide their identities from the public and ensure the government cannot crack down on dark money nonprofits that spend the bulk of their revenue on politics. Because guess what? They don't want what's done in the dark to come to the light. It is very obvious. Andrew goes on, with Republicans set to take over the House in January, Democratic lawmakers are throwing in the towel on an effort to end the political dark money era. Provisions in the $1.7 trillion spending bill, which is often used as a vehicle to enact controversial measures because it funds critical government operations, will prohibit the Biden administration's officials from doing much, if anything, to regulate dark money groups on their own for the rest of his first term. So let me go ahead and dress that up for you. They put a whole bunch of stuff in there that some people might not want, with a whole bunch of stuff that people do want. And because you can't, those items are not teased out, you end up as a member of Congress trying to make a decision. Do you vote for what is in there that may benefit your district or the greater good? Or do you vote against it because there's so much bad? It is absolutely, in some cases, a very hard decision to make. The other point here, let me dress this up for you. They can't do this now because the Republicans are gonna take over next year, but they had 2 years to get some stuff done. So this is another example of, we're gonna pretend like we wanna get this stuff done, then we really can't get this stuff done. Now we're gonna have a divided Congress with the Republicans controlling the House and the Democrats controlling the Senate. And guess what? Both parties are gonna make all kinds of excuses about why they cannot deliver for the American people. Jackson, I tell you, I got higher expectations for my 2 toddlers.
Well, that's not a bad bet right there. That's definitely not bad speculation, betting on your toddlers over the Congress, because we have to keep in mind, and what we point out all the time is a reality is that the system set that is just thrives on dark money and corporate bribery. It's really not of interest for any of these corporate funded politicians to cut off the tap. It'd be like cutting off the tap water in the middle of the desert. And even though the Republicans aren't really set to take over until the new year comes in, this is still gonna be a convenient excuse for corporate Democrats to say, oh, well, we tried, but the pressure was too high. It was coming down to it, and we had to keep the government open. So ultimately, the answer is, to replace politicians who depend on this type of dark money with politicians who don't. Because squeezed into the omnibus bill was basically provisions that don't allow the SEC, the IRS, or the executive branch to really do anything about taxing or forcing companies to reveal their dark money donations, which is completely arbitrary. But again, it's a system filled with people who thrive off of that system, and that's what we got to change.
There it is, and asking them to fix the system, it doesn't make sense. It's like the fox guarding the hen house, and you're right, Jackson. We do have to elect officials who do not depend on that kind of money, so that they'd be willing to make the change. And it's maddening. Part of this article really pointed out that the Democrats are quote unquote throwing in the towel. This is a maddening concept, because power is meant to be used, not squandered, and they squandered it for 2 years. Why is it that the Democrats are always willing, ready, and able to throw in the damn towel? Republicans don't throw in the towel. They fight to the bitter end. But Democrats, baby, they got that towel on each one of their desks. They ready at a moment's notice to throw it in instead of fighting for the people. So, we recently covered a guy by the name of Leonard Leo, for example, and he steered over $1 billion in dark money towards offices he wanted conservatives to control. He and the people who gave him all of this money, including helping to select 3 of the new Supreme Court justices. Let's put this up. Democrats' surrender on dark money comes after several failed legislative efforts to compel politically active nonprofits to disclose their donors. Ever since the Supreme Court's 2010 Citizens United decision allowed anonymous donations to flow into elections, both parties have become increasingly reliant on dark pools of cash to fund TV ad wars over presidential elections, congressional races, and even judicial confirmation campaigns. The situation allows ultra wealthy mystery donors to exert unprecedented influence in Washington. In other words, the invisible hands of the oligarchs are in absolute control. And in some cases, not so invisible, but we do know that the oligarchs are in full control. Bold it, underline it, exclamation point. This is no secret. And for them to do this in this particular moment while we're dealing with this particular bill, but this is how it goes. This is where we are, and it is a sad place to be. Let's put up this headline: Inside the Right's historic $1 billion money transfer. This is going back to this Leo person. Industrious Bar Seed funded a new dark money group run by Trump judicial advisor Leonard Leo, who helped eliminate federal abortion rights. These Republicans are on it in terms of they play the long game. They are playing for keeps, and they raise this kind of money because Citizens United allows these folks to be under the cloak of night, the cloak of darkness, while they are spreading all kinds of mayhem and mischief. Look what just happened with the United States Supreme Court. A whole bunch of right wingers are in control. Hence, we lost Roe v. Wade. Hence, a whole bunch of stuff is up in the air because those folks are there. And so people like Leo, this is what they do. So Citizens United, not just because of this dude, but for a whole host of reasons, needs to be overturned. And this Congress need to grow a pair, a whole bunch. They need to get some intestinal fortitude. But Jackson, as you pointed out, because they benefit, the corporatist Democrats benefit, the corporatist Republicans benefit, we are hard pressed until we get a new set of elected leaders in that Congress to do away with this dark money. So now, although Democrats have made several attempts to pass campaign finance reform measures, they refuse to use the most potent tool in their toolbox, which is eliminating or reforming, you guessed it, the filibuster. This makes one wonder, really, how serious are they in doing away with dark money? There are riders in the Omnibus bill to protect dark money. So this is where we are right now. Let's put this up. One rider, once again, bars the Securities and Exchange Commission, as Jackson mentioned previously, from spending any funds to establish or implement any rules requiring companies to disclose their donations to political groups and politically active nonprofits, as well as payments to lobbying groups. So there we have it. Under the cloak of darkness, these people are gonna keep doing this stuff. We, the people, at some point, gotta come to grips with whether or not we are being complicit in our own demise. Many of these elected officials only care about the owner-donor class, and that is it. You ask me why I say that over and over again, follow the money. You ask me why I say that over and over again, follow the policy. This ain't a mystery what these folks stand for and what they do not stand for, and whose side they really are on. America, we gotta wake up and come together, the 98% of us, or some people might say the 99. We're gonna keep on watching this stuff and keep on pushing.